Well, no. We're not going to do it. We're going to be classy. We're going to be classy about this. We take the high road. You know, we're gonna be classy as we always are. You know, we never riot after our guy loses. And if you will recall, Mitt Romney, John McCain didn't see a bunch of white people rioting. Don't recall also when George Bush won that we scooped up blacks off the street and sent them out of town, nor Hispanics, nor Muslims. So Trump won. Trump won. Am I happy that Trump won? Kinda. I'm more happy that corrupt, lying, rape apologizing, money grubbing, power hungry cunt lost. Oh, I hate. Sorry about that. I'm just so happy that even though she may not get prosecuted for her crimes, she's not getting rewarded for it. Oh, no. Sorry. We're taking the high road. My God. Look at all these regressive tears. You know, here's the thing. Guys, if we were living in this country the way it should be, if government didn't have so much goddamn power over us, then who got elected president wouldn't be such an emotional mess for you. You've ceded over all this power to your life, so you think that everything is authoritarian. It doesn't even... You regressives, you do not understand the idea of non-authority. It's either somebody is pulling the strings, and it's either your guy or the other guy. You feel like you have no power over your life because you give this power over to them, and you act like stuck pigs every time you lose control. And what do you get out of it? Sure as hell isn't creativity. We gotta hear the same fucking chants for the last 50 years. Hey, ho. This is what spoiled brats look like. Shut the fuck up. Why don't you do something actually creative? Why don't you go out there and do something that actually means something instead of throwing tantrums all the time? You can't. The only thing you can think of to do is go running into the streets and riot. You guys are the ones that go out and riot. Let me show you something here. How idiotic you are. How you can't seem to understand what's really happening here. You talk about how everybody is racist, but look at what's greeted us when you don't get your way. Black power. You burn down the buildings. You burn down your neighborhoods. Pro-Hillary thugs chanting "Die Whites Die" in New Orleans. Yeah, this is. But Trump is the racist. Do you even hear yourselves anymore? Do you even see what you're doing? You talk about all the violence that will happen to you. You set these things on fire. You are the guys that riot. And you seem to think it's okay. The rise of Donald Trump has exposed a frightening underbelly of America's foulest tendencies. Racism, nativism, xenophobia, misogyny, Islamophobia, ableism, and propensity towards authoritarianism is laid bare. Do you understand what authoritarianism means? We are not the ones saying, you must say what we want you to say or else we'll call it a hate crime. We're not the ones who are saying whites must die. We're not the ones who are saying who are murdering gays in the Orlando nightclub and saying, "Oh, that's just the Muslims. That's the way they are. We can't be getting anti-Muslim hatred now." We're not the ones saying these things. You think Trump is inciting violence. There are so many examples of Trump inciting violence. The New York Times put together a video documenting some of them. Really? Did they show the video where Americans United for Change were grabbing psychos and agitators off the streets, putting them through agitation classes, and sending them to Trump rallies in the hopes that they would get punched? to try to play psychological warfare.
If you're there and you're protesting and you do these actions, you will be attacked at Trump rallies. That's what we know.
So that's part of the process of eliciting the reaction.
The whole point of it is we know that Trump's people will freak the fuck out. His security team will freak out, and his supporters will lose their shit. To funnel that kind of operation, you have to start back with people 2 weeks ahead of time and train them how to ask questions.
Right.
You have to train them to bird dog.
No, I'm saying we have mentally ill people that we pay to do shit. Make no mistake. Over the last 20 years, I've paid off a few homeless guys to do some crazy stuff, and I've also taken them for dinner, and I've also made sure they had a hotel and a shower, and I've put them in a program. Like, I've done that.
They beat these people. I don't believe these things. I don't believe these things you say. HuffPo thinks that it's quite okay to start rioting. And they're very upset that anybody who condemns the violence, condemns the idea of inciting violence, is a bad thing. Oh my gosh, we need to riot. Don't tell us that we can't be violent. We're in a fascist dictatorship here. Amidst the hot takes and denunciation from liberals, they all seem to miss the key points. They misplace the blame. They understand the desired outcome from violent resistance and those protesting Trump in general. So Trump is a fascist because he wins an election where people peacefully voted. And the only way to stop the fascist who was elected peacefully in a fair election, you must do violent resistance. In order to fight fascism, we have to get violent and get people to fall back in line and kill people if that's what's necessary to stop the fascism in the United States. Do you listen to yourselves? This is why you fucking lost. This is why you lost. I mean, we're just supposed to take it and fall in line when you guys win. But now the shoe is on the other foot. What is that? That's shoe on head. That's not even remotely related to anything that we're doing here. Why? No, I said no. Why? No. Some people have the privilege to consider the implications of Trump's rise in the abstract and negotiate what means are necessary. What the fuck does that mean? Are you saying that there's people that just don't have the privilege to consider, to think about things? What, because they're black? Oh, only the white privilege have the ability to think with their brain? You fucking racist. And those who hold that privilege, the privilege of having a human brain, it's effectively an effort to dictate the rules under which oppressed people respond to existential threats. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? HuffPo is basically saying, go out and riot because we didn't get the result that we wanted. Would they have been so sanguine to whites or to Republicans or even black Republicans if they did the same thing? If they called for the same thing, what would they say? It's unfair that more people should have voted for Hillary, and I'm worried about people of color being kicked out of the United States. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like they don't hear what he says. They don't hear what he's talking about. They don't understand the difference between legal and illegal aliens. They don't understand that there are some bad people out there regardless of color. They don't seem to understand anything. And they're so hypocritical about it. All they care about is their side winning. Because, as I said before, they are religious nuts. They've replaced God with the state. Now, I think you should replace God with reason and skepticism and facts. But most people just apparently don't know how to do that. And when you replace it with the state, unfortunately the state has actual power over people. The church only has influence, and there is a difference. So Lacey Green, here's a prime example. Lacey, this is why you lost. When things were looking Hillary's way, she tweeted out, "Regardless of the outcome, we are clearly a deeply divided and broken country. So much work ahead to mend, heal, and restore the you in USA." Oh, it's a tear coming to my eye. It's so hopeful and emotional and wonderful. Until Trump won. Then it was, "We are now under total Republican rule. Textbook fascism. Fuck you, white America. Fuck you, you racist, misogynist piece of shit. Good night." Holy shit. Boy, that turned around quickly, didn't it? In 3 hours. That's what she went to. And quite frankly, this is what they all went to. "I believe in love and kindness. Hillary with a big heart." Oh, she has a heart. "Love trumps hate. Oh, it's clever and nice." To this, in one day, fires, vandalism, people getting punched and hurt, screaming and yelling like stuck pigs, like spoiled fucking brats. Most of which who don't even know how many fucking states are in the union, let alone who the fuck is the vice president right now, what the First Amendment is. They have no clue. They just want what they want, and they think the other people hate them because fucking Miley Cyrus told me so. And Miley Cyrus knows all. If you had to pick one story that explains Trump, it would be the attack on Memories Pizza. A left-leaning journalist drives 90 minutes into what they think is a bumfuck nowheresville to seek out a dumb Christian yokel and mock her. A family in a small town just trying to make pizzas is sought out and attacked for their theoretical defense of their belief system. Now, those of you who don't remember Memories Pizza, this was when the whole gay marriage flack was going on in Indiana. Now, whether you agreed with it or not, the tactics that they used were absolutely, dare I say it, deplorable. Nope. Stop it. So, what happened in Memories Pizza is there's this Christian couple, their daughter, and they have this pizza place, kind of a family place. They're not hurting anybody. And a reporter goes in there and says, "Would you cater a gay wedding?" Now, this is after she's gone all over the town trying to find somebody that would say no. Finally get to this pizza place, and they're like, "Well, I don't know who would actually cater a wedding with fucking pizza, but if you're telling me that I would have to participate in a gay wedding, I'm not really comfortable with that, but, we serve anybody that comes in the restaurant. We don't stop that." But holy shit, that was all it needed. The hate and the Twitter mob came down. They ordered fake pizzas all over. There was death threats, bomb threats. They had to close their doors. And only through people saying, "Wait a fucking minute. This is crazy." And they opened up a GoFundMe page and got them money to get them back on their feet. And I guess it ended up being so much more money than they needed that they ended up giving a lot of it to charity. So good, something good happened from it. But what did they do? Don't we have the right not to associate with people? I don't see you leftists going out there into red state America and taking a look around. And let's take a look at what Hillary won. She won the Hollywood left coast and the D.C.-New York corridor. People who have a lot of money, who could give a fuck about rural America. And that's what really happened. That's what we're talking about. So, they did not really understand what was going on in the country. Journalists love mocking Trump supporters. We insult their appearance. We dismiss them as racist and sexist. We emote on Twitter about how this or that comment or policy makes us feel one way or the other, and yet we reject their feelings as invalid. It's a profound failure of empathy in the service of endless posturing. There's been some sympathy from the press, sure. The dispatches from heroin country that read like reports from colonial administrators checking in on the natives. But much of that starts from the assumption that Trump voters are backwards, and that it's our duty to catalog and ultimately reverse that backwardness. What can we do to get these people to stop worshiping their false god and accept our gospel? This is what I mean. They act like religious crazies. You don't believe what I believe, therefore you must be smited. It's no wonder the regressives get along with the Islamists so well. They have the same tactics. We diagnose them as racists in the way Dark Age clerics confused medical problems with demonic possession. Journalists at our worst see ourselves as a priestly caste. We believe we not only have access to indisputable facts, but also a greater truth, a system of beliefs divined from an advanced understanding of justice. Tithe your money. We call it taxes. Only God only wanted 10%. We want 35 or 50. And the more you make, the more we're going to take. If you speak against us, if you say the wrong thing, you blaspheme or hate speech. Believe what we shall believe, or we will come down on you. We will send our groups to deprogram you if we must. We will send you to our public schools, and we will program you the way you're supposed to think. And we have our programmers in the colleges right now programming you to what we believe you should think. Frightening. And they act like cultists. And look at them out there screaming and yelling. Here's a woman crying. And he says, and a Trump supporter says, I can't believe these weaklings run this country. This is a White House staff gathering for Trump's arrival, and one lady is crying her eyes out. Jesus fucking Christ. And he says, Trump supporters, everyone, how dare a woman show emotion when she's forced to greet a sexual predator? Oh, wait, did Hillary and Bill get in there? Because Trump just made a lot of noise and said a lot of stupid things, but we know Bill was a predator. Why was it okay for him? Do you think we didn't see this double standard out of you guys? Do you think we didn't notice that? Sally Cohn, my sense, if Trump wins, Hillary supporters will be sad. If Hillary wins, Trump supporters will be angry. An important difference. Who rioted, Sally? You know, the press, you are so out of touch, and you are so dogmatic in your beliefs. You don't ever come out here and talk to us. You don't ever come out to Middle America unless you're flying over it and looking down upon us as our betters. Yeah, we understand how you think, and who cares if you're feeding questions to Hillary for the debate. Trump had everybody against him. Everybody against him. Even the GOP was against him. Karl Rove on Fox News was saying, Trump had better. Thank Paul Ryan for getting Wisconsin. Are you fucking kidding me? Paul Ryan did everything he could to undermine Trump's presidency. And now that or his campaign, now that he's president, he's fallen in line really quick. When he saw the numbers that came out. And meanwhile, on the other side, Donny Deutsch on MSNBC, which I listen to because I hate myself.
And unfortunately this morning, and half of this country was going to wake up very afraid this morning either way. Right. As we said earlier in the show, if I was a factory worker in Scranton, I'd be afraid. But right now, if you're a Muslim, you're very afraid in this country. If you have a child that's bullied in school, you're terrified in this country. If you're a woman that's in a kind of sometimes maybe getting a little harassed at work, you're afraid this morning.
Jesus fucking Christ. Wonder why they're rioting when you're peddling this garbage into their ears. And then they listen to all this and they believe it. Because listen to believe, that's a mantra, right? And now Trump has won. And they're all losing their fucking minds. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think I've seen a lot of gloating on our side. I'm going to say this. I've seen a lot of gloating on our side. Look, guys, Trump wasn't our first candidate. It wasn't all that long ago. He was a buffoon with his own reality show. Let's not act like this is a blow. This is Reagan comeback or the second coming of Reagan. This is not that. We're going to be lucky if he does some of the things we want to do. But make no mistake, we cannot act, we have to be ever vigilant. We're going to spend most of our time doing one of two things. One, we're going to have to hold his feet to the fire. and make sure that he does what he says he's going to do. And I don't want to hear how, well, liberals saying, well, he needs to reach across to us. He needs to unite with us. No, fuck you, you lost. George Bush tried uniting all the time. He tried to reach across the aisles. Barack Obama ramrodded Obamacare through. He didn't give a fuck about them. We're not going to give a fuck about you. Trump said he was going to do certain things. He needs to do them. And if he doesn't, we need to hold his feet to the fire. Us, on our side. This is what you said you were going to do. You need to do it. You're going to simplify the tax code. We're going to have 3 brackets, and you're going to get that done. Do it. You're going to repeal Obamacare. Do it. You're going to wipe out all of Obama's executive orders. Get it done. I don't want to hear you kowtowing to the press or listen to them like stuck pigs. I don't care. I don't care what they say. Fuck them. They lost. We got to get some things actually done. And you said you were going to do things. You need to do them. If he does it, or if he goes back on his word, or if he does things that are outside of what he said he was going to do, that are clearly regressive, we need to hold his feet to the fire. And if he does anything dishonest, we need to hold his feet to the fire. Unfortunately, second, we're going to have to spend a lot of our time just defending Trump against all the ridiculous, bogus charges that are going to come his way. It was just like that with George W. Bush. You know, I mean, he wasn't perfect. There was a lot of things we could have worked on and got with him, but we spent all our time over these ridiculous charges of racism, sexism, homophobia, blah, 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 blah. You know, he didn't like cheesecake. Who knows? There'll be something they don't like about it. And it'll go on and go on and go on. So we're going to have to, it's going to take us some time. And we have to divide our time between holding Trump's feet to the fire and defending him of all the bogus, regressive charges. Like, press, you did this to yourself. You can't just sit there and call everybody racist, sexist, homophobe every time you disagree with them. And you cannot be so blatant about putting your thumb on the scale. You're supposed to be reporting the truth, and you didn't. You handed questions to Hillary in debates. You pretended that him saying grab him by the pussy 11 years ago was the biggest scandal in the world, while you did very little reporting or covered up the email scandal. The Project Veritas videos got no coverage on CNN or MSNBC. The corruption with the Clinton Foundation, you didn't care. If they were telling the truth about her, she should have lost by 50 points. And that's all we're asking, is to tell the truth. But you put your thumb on the scale, and we saw it, and it was blatant, and nobody trusts your asses anymore. And as far as I'm concerned, the mainstream media is dead. The new media, the YouTube media, the rebel media, the Paul Joseph Watsons, the Stefan Molyneux, the Sargons of Akkad, the Chris Ray Guns, the people out there actually telling the truth, who are not at White House press dinners, who are not on the planes with the candidates, and drinking with them and getting to know them and going back and forth, where Donna Brazile works for the candidate and then she's in the CNN, and George Stephanopoulos works for President Clinton and then he works for ABC News, and these people aren't going back and forth all the time. And I mean, fuck it, Dana Perino in the Bush administration, now with Fox News. I like her very much, but let's face it, this incestuous relationship between the press and the government needs to stop. There should be a big wall there. Because right now the press isn't doing its job. And they're rooting too much for one side. And they're not giving the full truth. And they could care less about the full truth. So YouTube, these social media, these new media people, they're the ones that win. And I suggest you go to these channels and start looking them up, talking to them, because they get on there and they go through, they respond, they find references, they get facts, they put links, and they show what's actually going on. They actually talk about the facts. They actually are putting in-depth analysis in there. They're not beholden to one sponsor or another. They're not beholden to time crunches. They don't have to say, I've got a hard stop. They can make the video as long or as short as they want until they get their point across. That's powerful, but it takes work. You're going to have to work a little bit for it. You're going to have to open your mind and stop living in your echo chamber. You're going to have to go out there and find different people that have different ideas. And stop just listening to your dogmatic religious bullshit, regressives. Mainstream media, you need to do it too, because your days are done. We saw it. Everybody saw it. And even Wisconsin and Michigan and all these, Pennsylvania, for Christ's sake, they all saw it. We get it. There's two Americas right now, the rich and the hoi polloi, telling us how bad we are. Miley Cyrus, Beyonce, Jay-Z. All of you guys, fuck you. We sit there and we buy your products. You're nowhere without us. Going to your movies, watching your TV shows, so you can tell us that we're bad people for disagreeing with you, that we're evil, that we're horrible. Fuck you. Fuck you, all of you. You just bit the hand that feeds you. You want to go to Canada? Go the fuck to Canada. Remember, though, they're putting in a bill that's going to take away your free speech over there, so good luck with that. Anyway, this has been a fun rant. Thanks for listening. God damn it. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it.
Wake up, sleepyhead, wrap your eyes, get out of bed. Wake up, the wicked witches.